he asked me, hey, do you need any help? You know what I do? I says, no. And I go, hey, I got my car here. If you need a ride, I says, no, thank you. I live only 2 blocks away. But he kept coming and says, come on, let me help you. I says, heck it. I gave him the beer, and I start walking out, say bye-bye to the guy, and he kept walking with me. He started asking me questions, where you from? And don't tell me you Puerto Rican or Venezuelan. And I said, no, I'm Dominican. So how could you? Yes, and whatever. We were just having a conversation. He told me why he came here.
My dad was born in Colombia and left to come to the United States. And he's in New York, and he's going to school out here.
To study English and business at the local community college.
But his goal is going back to Colombia to help his father, because his grandfather had a lot of land, especially rice and cattle. My family, they had cattle and they had rice and they had, we had that in common. So we got land too in the Dominican Republic and there's some farming and everything. When I see him for the first time, I don't find him. His face was beautiful. It's his ways. He will come, open the door for you. He's a gentleman. And he speak a beautiful Spanish. People that comes from Bogota, their Spanish is superior. It sounds so beautiful, especially when you're getting a girl to fall in love with you. Oh, it works like magic. That next weekend, we went to the World Fair, and I remember the second day I kissed him. It was then the beginning of my relationship with their father, Rodrigo. After being like 3 months or so, or maybe more, we were going to go to a little party in Queens College. It was nice, a lot of salsa. So we were going to go all the way over there. So he picked me up, I'm in his car, and he went out to get some cigarettes or something like that. And I look down, and in the rug, the little rug, the mat, on his side, I see like the point of an envelope. I say, what's that? And I read, I see his name, another lady name. So what the heck? It's a divorce decree thing. So this fucking guy is married. I put it back, I didn't say anything until we got there.
My dad had been married to this Jewish woman so that he could gain his residency to live here.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, my mom was pretty upset. They fought about it.
He panicked and he says he didn't live with her, whatever. It was the green card. Of course, they were married and they were living in the same house. He lived with her. He did fuck her. He did all that stuff, and she had 3 kids. The girl was ugly. That's another thing. She was ugly and kind of old. I want nothing to do with this guy. As I said, I stopped seeing him, whatever. One day I come in to the house, and he's over there. He had a cut all the way from his forehead to his top of his head. A big, huge cut. And my mom was putting cold towers and stuff like that. So I walk in, I says, what happened? He got drunk. He had a car crash. The car was almost total. So I ended up taking him to the hospital. He got I don't know how many stitches. Took him home to his house and made up again. That was my chance to break it, but made up, okay, he loves me, whatever, and his words, he was good with it. I got married in 1978, then we were going to go to the honeymoon, but we got the surprise that your grandfather wanted to come to the honeymoon, and grandmother, and aunt, and uncle. So we had to change the honeymoon plan to go to Niagara Falls. Right there, I should have walked out. In 1979, we moved to
my grandfather made a name for himself farming rice. Did really well for himself, bought more and more and more land, and started expanding into cattle. And my dad came back basically to help run that.
Because my husband brothers were getting into, Air Force. They all wanted to become pilot. I don't know why. But he was going to be left alone with so much land. That was the beginning of my life there. Once I knew that I was going to Colombia, my father begged me to become an American citizen. Because he said that Colombia wasn't a stable country, and at least, they will take care of the Americans. I met the family. They were very nice Colombians. They were country people. They grew up in a small town. If they went to a 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that was a lot. You know what I mean? They didn't have the culture. It wasn't like me. I went to good schools, I knew my history. I knew, where I come from. And not them. They were campesinos. They were like country folk. They were just working the land. And they took me and see the land and see me the countryside. It was beautiful. It was nice. Everybody was so nice. I'm going to spend 2 years over here. I don't care. It's fine. I was teaching English to little kids. My husband will go and work in the country on his land, his father's land. And we were beginning to see production, money from the land, and life was good. Then I got pregnant of Ksenia. And when I was around 3 months, I wanted to wear my maternity dress, and I was going to go out. Well, my husband was going to take me out for the first time, looking like a pregnant girl. Gonna go out and eat dinner with my husband, and he said that he was going to come back. He was going to pick up his brother, younger brother, and they never came back. I waited 2 hours and so on. One of the son of my neighbor came in a car, and I said, let me go to the centro. Centro is the center of the city. That's where my husband and family used to hang out. And so I went over there, and the car, I didn't see it nowhere. But passing by a little disco that usually was meant for the mozas. They call it the mozas over there. Married guys will bring the girls that were not their wife over there to dance and have a good time. And the car was right in front over there, so I went in. He was dancing with a beautiful girl, really young, like 17-year-old. And I pulled my husband out of the place, and he got startled, and he's apologizing, and he's making excuses for himself, and whatever. Then his brother came in, I was already screaming to him, and the thing that hurt me the most, it was because, it was so much meant to me, to go out, with a little belly already. Now that happened, so I said, heck it, I'm going to have my girl in the United States. That was my main priority. But then, here we go. That's when everything started. Everything started with mafia, with the Colombian mafia.
Basically, everything that happened with my dad and his brothers, my uncles, the way that it's always been in my head presented in a way was that, like, he was over here, and then one of his brothers was like, hey man, the land and all that mom and dad left us, we figured out something to do with it. Come back and be a part of it because we're making money.
One of my husband's younger brother was the first one that started dealing with illegal drugs. He was an Air Force spy. They proposed to him to do a trip to the Bahamas for marijuana and pay him $15,000. And I remember he bought a Honda. It was kind of a orange, beautiful color, like really shiny, but a nice orange. Everybody liked that car. At the beginning, I was all marijuana, then started being cocaine. Yeah, another brother got enlisted, and then the other brother, and my husband function was mainly the money laundering. He will do the money part because he couldn't be a pilot. He was a corporation that used to bring flowers here from Colombia, and he will take the money to that corporation. But he was the one that it was in charge. It is mafiosos was in charge of getting all the money together to send it back to Colombia. They were using the land strip of my father-in-law. He has a cattle there, but he has a landing strip. That landing strip was being used for drug dealers to land, take off, and refuel. People from the Air Force would go equipped with machine guns and stuff like that, and they used to get out first and search the area before we could come. They were doing a flight, all the pilots, and that load was somebody very important, two parties involved, two mafia guys. It was 4 planes going to Bolivia, I believe, or Peru. One of the planes got caught. My ex-husband, youngest brother, was cut by the police, so they couldn't get out. My ex-husband is not a pilot, so he stayed in Bogota. And he saw that his brother, youngest brother, was cut. He came out and stayed with him, giving up the drugs and whatever. They got arrested. They were thrown to jail. That came out on the newspaper all over the world. All over the world. Dominican Republic, my family saw it. And then all the negotiations started, Money speak. They already put all the people in the jail. And when they were there in jail, they were partying. They would bring them food. They got the best thing. They bring them girls. They already had everything set up for them. My apartment in Bogota was set up for all the communication, so we could talk to them from prison anytime. So all of those mafia lords used to come in the nighttime to my house and talk to them. The mafia, they pay off, I think it was $2 million to get the release. And they bought a lot of politicians, and they bought a lot of everybody. And they were out. They were out like maybe 2 weeks or something.
So they must have felt probably invincible.
They were. It was very corrupted, You were very well protected by the cops, by whoever, Nobody will mess around with us. They know, especially who you work for, they will not mess around with. No. And over there at that time, being a mafioso, it was even better than being a doctor. People will, even political people in the bank, they used to see you like dog, even though they knew what you were doing. You know what I mean? When I used to go to a restaurant and one of them would walk in or whatever, it was like if the Pope will come in. The respect they used to get, it was mainly the respect. And me being in there, it came to a time that I didn't give it too much thought. I used to go to the spa, I used to play cards in the club, the best clubs they had. It was always the biggest celebration anywhere. The parties, they were so fancy, so I had the best dress, I had the best. We used to go and even be with President of Colombia, celebrations and stuff like that. And it was never wrong. I used to go to my drawer and take out $500 if I wanted. It was going to a farm and seeing a horse. And I